Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Crimson Flower and with me today I have Edward again with the first week's adaptation vlog. The last time was the week 0. Edward, last time you told us that you had been feeling these adaptation stage 1 symptoms and everything was going great. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Okay. Well, how has your week been this far?
Well, I wasn't so tired. I wanted to sleep more, obviously, but it was quite sustainable. At first, I woke up during naps because on E1 Extended, I never slept more than 10 minutes because of the sleep onset. That was too long. So I guess my body started to get used to it, but now it's really better. Though I still wake up from time to time, but it's more rare than on E1 Extended. Meanwhile, I overall feel quite good, even if now I have like nice energy levels, and then like in 1 hour later, I can be completely like shit. It's crazy.
Okay, so your energy levels are fluctuating quite rapidly
sorry, but
at this
I
point.
don't hear you very well.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yes. Okay, strange. Well, yeah, I was just saying that, so at the moment your energy levels are fluctuating quite heavily, is that right?
That's right, yeah.
Okay, and just to recap, what day of the adaptation are you on right now?
So, actually I'm on day 10, I'm on the 10th day of the adaptation.
Okay, sure. And you, as we talked about the adaptation, it introduced some fluctuating energy levels for you. When did this happen, and would you say that you're in adaptation stage 2 or adaptation stage 3 right now, or are you still in adaptation stage 1?
Well, during day 5, when I woke up, I felt like a wreck, really, and I didn't want to move. I sat back and then lay down in my bed. Big mistake, and I was awake, but I certainly think I had a few micro sleeps. I think for a total of around 5 or 10 minutes, but it's absolutely not sure because I remember having a small if I was fainting a little, then straight away pushing myself out of the bed, and normally it's not sure, but the problem is that on a hard schedule, my memory is not very good just after wake-ups, so I don't really remember even if I think about it very hard, I don't remember if I was micro sleeping or not, or if I exercise or something there. I'm sure I didn't oversleep or anything, but in those situations, it's quite hard to say if I overslept actually. But since that day, I would say that the sleep pressure has increased, and every morning I think I do like a small micro sleep of around 3 or 5 seconds, sometimes 10 seconds. I'm assuming this because I often sit on my chair trying to type on my computer or doing something to keep myself busy, and I catch myself with the head falling and eyes closing, and I'm like, shit, I don't want to sleep now. So yes, I managed to control myself completely sometimes, but it's quite difficult. I think the key in my case is really to get moving as soon as I feel a small sleepiness or something, but it feels better. So I think, yeah, it's possible that I'm on stage 2 actually for now, about 3 or 4 days, I think.
Okay, sure. Are you using any sort of usage trackers like that track your activity so that you can see if you are microsleeping or if you spend time on your phone or typing on your keyboard or something like that?
I usually use the Zio when I'm really screwed up, and unfortunately it doesn't catch the really small micro sleeps. So I use also an application on it's how do you say that? It's like a movement tracker on Android, and it allows you to simply see the usage of the applications. so I can see if I was like using my phone or not. But it's not a really precise thing to see if I was microsleeping or not. So the only real way, I guess, is to keep myself moving.
Sure, sure, I understand that. And let's get back here a moment. You said that in the beginning that you stopped waking up like with interrupted naps. So are you saying that your naps and perhaps your core has stabilized more, so you're taking more 20-minute naps and a 4.5-hour core, or how does it work? Are you still being interrupted?
It's 3.5 hour core.
Ah, yes, of course.
But yes, my sleep isn't interrupted anymore. On the first day of adaptation, I think that my core was slightly interrupted by like 5-minute chunks or something, but it wasn't. I don't remember it. Meanwhile, here my naps were completely shit in the beginning. I just had like nice REM naps in the beginning, but yeah, I was quite often waking up, and it was really boring. And yes, I'd say that my sleep architecture is like maybe better than when I was on E1 extended.
Okay, how many of your naps contain REM sleep, and has your like repartitioning of the core been changed yet?
So far, I've had only 4 REM naps, really consistent REM naps. The first 2 were on the first day, the third one was on the third day, and the fourth one was on the fourth day. I haven't had any since there. The naps are nevertheless longer since I can sleep. I have a very short sleep onset. I can fall asleep in like 1 or 2 minutes. And when I was on E1 extended, it could take like ages. I could fall asleep in 10, even 15 minutes. It was really boring. So this is lovely. But unfortunately, when I sleep more in those naps, so I have about 15 to 18 minutes of sleep, pure sleep. I finish with about 5 or 10 minutes SWS in my nap, so I wake up in SWS and it's completely horrible. So yes, and also like I don't remember every morning awakening. So yeah, it was really easy on E1. I had no micro sleeps and so. But yeah, I could remember every alarm clock that was ringing, even though I had like a really small zombie mode, like in the first seconds. But now, when I get out of bed, I don't remember my dream, and the first 2 alarms, I don't remember how I cut them off, and then I realize I'm like standing up, searching for all my alarm clocks, and then I wake up at that moment, in fact.
Okay, that's really interesting to hear, especially that many of your naps have slow wave sleep, because slow wave sleep is really intrusive. So if you have even a little bit of pressure of it, it will insert itself into the naps, like at every nap. So does that mean that you're not getting a sufficient amount of slow wave sleep from your core at the moment?
Probably, but I think maybe it's possible that I should have waited for a good repartitioning, and from there, maybe my core will consist even more of SWS and less in my naps. I don't know how maybe the process can do it by itself or not. Do you maybe have an advice in this case?
Yeah, it's supposed to happen by itself. I don't think that having slow wave sleep in your nap is going to be something that's going to be bothering you like after adaptation stage 4 or perhaps even after stage 3. It depends a bit. Repartitioning usually happens around adaptation stage 3, so I think that you're going to have to wait until that. And that will be really interesting actually, because in your third adaptation stage, if your core repartitions more and you reduce the slow wave sleep in your naps, the adaptation stage 3 will of course be very draining on you, your energy levels will be lower, but also it might be easier to wake up from the naps and get an energy boost from that. So we'll see. It will be interesting to see how it compares to your previous adaptation with the homeostatic pressure.
I don't know if you noticed that, but I hear like a lot of chunks of what you're saying. So I hear a few phrases and then it stops, and then I hear you again. So it's quite difficult to understand everything that you say.
Okay. I'm sorry. I don't seem to have any connection issues on my part, so I don't know where the problem is originating from. But I just said that it will be interesting to see how your adaptation stage 3 is going to fan out, because did you lose me?
Yeah. Like I hear you, and then I don't hear you anymore, and so on.
Okay, well, your adaptation stage 3 will be interesting because the homeostatic pressure increase from the naps will be combating the overall tiredness from the third adaptation stage. So it will be interesting to see how it plays out.
I didn't hear the last part when you said how it will play.
Yeah, how it will be compared, like because you will be, of course, more tired during the third adaptation stage, but your naps will probably not have SWS anymore, so they will be giving more energy boosts.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because you also have so many naps, so it could be that you're sort of cruising on the homeostatic pressure alleviation that they give, and just taking it one day at a time at that point. I think it's interesting to see if it will be harder or easier for you than during your Everyman 1 adaptation, the third stage.
Because I noticed that when I don't wake up during SWS and I have like slight REM naps, so I mean by that I have about 5 to 6 minutes of REM naps that are how do you say that? That are not mislabeled. Sorry, I have a call. That are not mislabeled on the Zio. Then I wake up like refreshed and I feel good. I want to go to work and so on. And when I wake up from an SWS wake, it's like just before nap I was productive. I have a good mood, and then when I wake up I'm like I want to die, and it's like horrible. Yeah, horrible.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the experience of people, and I hope that it fixes itself soon for you. Think just 4 REM naps cruising on with the day. It sounds really great, and I hope that you experience it soon. But you talked a bit about how this adaptation compared to your Everyman 1 adaptation, that it was really harder. Do you have any more insights to give on that regard?
Not really. Just the fact that I don't remember my 2 alarms. It's like really, in my opinion, a good thing to like have 3 or 4 cell phones, like even rubbish cell phones at £20 at the shop or something, and like you put them everywhere in your room, and each day you change them of position, and you have like 5 or 4 other alarm clocks that are completely fixed, that doesn't move. And it's quite funny because I'm like waking up and then I'm bored, in fact, because I'm pissed off because I don't find them. I don't manage to remember where I put them, and I listen. I hear that there's the alarm ringing, and it's boring. I'm like pissed off, and the fact that I'm pissed off just wakes me up, in fact. So it's pretty cool.
Well, that's really interesting. It's a great secondary benefit from having that many alarm clocks. Okay. But let's talk about your productivity a bit. You mentioned that when you have an SWS wake, your productivity is really decreasing. But how is it like maybe an hour after you wake up from the naps? Is your productivity back up to level again? And how does the productivity at this time compare to your Everyman 1 or even monophasic productivity?
In fact, it's quite special because when I wake up from a nap, if I go straight to my work, it will take about 10 to 15 minutes to be back and completely working on like crazy. But yeah, it's like if I don't do anything and like just stay there and feel the pain and just say to myself, oh shit, I'm feeling like crap. It can last like for an hour or two, and I won't do anything. So I think it's like also a lot psychological. So I would put an average on about 30 minutes. Like if you push a little through, and you try to really get your work done, I'd say that over 20 to 30 minutes, like your productivity is going back, compared to monophasic. Like my productivity on monophasic was like complete rubbish, because I hate sleeping for too long. In fact, I hate passing time in my bed, like 8-10 hours. I feel like I lose my time, and it's completely horrible. And when I passed on E1 extended, it was better, because I had a bit less total sleep time, but it was not enough. And now that I have so much time, it's like really amazing, and I can organize my day like as I want. It's really cool finally. So I could not really compare any productivity in those three styles of sleep, because it's completely different, in fact.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool to hear. But so you would say that your productivity is overall pretty high, even though you have these moments where your productivity is really low, but it's compensated by just having so much time in the day to do productive work, right? Okay, that's very cool to hear. And it's also interesting that you know that your productivity can be high if you just put your mind to it and power through the bad timing. That's also very cool to hear. Okay, sure. We talked a bit about your sleep deprivation, how you're handling it by tracking what you're doing with the CEO when it's really rough, using several alarms during the wake-ups to make sure that you actually stay awake. But like when you have a bad productivity, when you're really tired, how do you tackle the sleep deprivation then? Do you stand up and walk, or do you do some what kind of tasks do you do?
So as I mentioned in the previous video, I don't do any dark period post-core. So as soon as I wake up, my first goal is to take my jumping rope and jump like crazy, and try to yeah. Sometimes I'm like just jumping like a slug, but it's okay. I wake up with time, and really it helps me out a lot. I think if I didn't do that, I don't know what I could do. Maybe going for a walk in the woods or something. But even that wouldn't be enough to wake me up. So I don't micro sleep or something. Also, I take cold showers as soon as I wake up. I like train a little in my room. Then I go and take my cold shower. Even if I'm like really don't wanting to, I go and I take my shower. So moreover, here in Belgium it's like quite cold, so the shower is quite cold, but it's like really refreshing when you go out of the shower, even though you were completely sluggish and tired. It really refreshes like crazy. Um, Also, for safety reasons, I went to buy Bluetooth headphones, because I remember that during my naps with cord headphones, during my past attempts, like E3 extended and so on, I had already had several oversleeping, because of the fact that I was turning off the alarm clock that was right next to me, and the big noise was so recovering, and I was surrendering to fall back asleep. So I also had trouble getting off the ground, and I just wanted to stay and lie down. So I bought Bluetooth headphones that allows me to simply put my phone like on my table or in my wardrobe or something. And with that, at least I have to get up and get the mobile phone to turn off the alarm clock. So I'm up, and then once I'm standing up, I don't really want to go back to sleep. So I had several moments like that, like at the beginning of each adaptation, where I thought I was doing an oversleep also, whether during a nap or a core. And this is quite frustrating, because I'm like sleeping, and it's most likely that I'm really anxious in the fact of oversleeping or micro sleeping. And like when I'm sleeping, I can wake up and look at the time like if I was a bit crazy, and say to myself, shit, I overslept. And then no, in fact I didn't overslept. But I had exactly the same on E1 extended for the first 2 weeks about. And here it's the same, but it begins to go away. Like I'm more and more confident in the schedule, and And yeah, also to handle the increased sleep deprivation, I have a good technique when I don't feel like doing anything. Like it's like a transition between a cold shower or between physical exercising. It's like I'm simply playing a game that engages my nervous system and gives me adrenaline. So the game is like petridish.io or agar.io, and it's like it's really annoying game. When someone kills you, you like freak out, and so you wake up simply.
Okay, that sounds really great. Agar.io to wake up. Okay, sure. So you mentioned that you had this paranoia during Everyman one extended that sort of happened now too, but you're more confident in your schedule. So it's like, is it that you're waking up early and then you're afraid that you've overslept, or
it stopped when you said waking up early.
Okay, so are you like waking up before your alarm and thinking that you've overslept, or is it something like that?
Yeah, it's exactly that. Also, I wake up like saying to myself, "Shit, how am I? How did I arrive there? How did I fall asleep?" And in fact, sometimes I think that it's not the right moment to sleep, and I try to remember what was the last image that I remember, and then I say to myself, "Oh, okay, it's okay. It's the good right time." Because I had once the problem that my nap was at 5:10 p.m. and I've been to bed at 5, and I realized it like after 2 minutes after closing eyes, and I got up like crazy and say, "Oh shit! I was going to sleep 30 minutes instead of 20." So it's those kind of mistakes that can unfortunately arrive when you are really sleep deprived, and yeah, I think this freaks me completely out. But as I said, as time passes, it's less and less effective or predominant. So yeah.
Okay, I get what you're saying, and you also mentioned that you have very strong routines in order to wake up. Would you say that skipping ropes helps you with the waking up and increasing your productivity faster?
Yeah, sure, of course, because like just moving my body is really not enough to be how to say that, in a good mood to work and like start working on my business or something. So yes, as soon as I do that, it's like it's not pleasant. Okay, so when you wake up, you don't want to jump on the rope, you just want to go back to sleep. And when you force yourself to do so, there's a moment where it's like a second wind finally, where you have a second breath, and you feel like you can do anything, and on that moment it's like you are completely sluggish and tired, but you have I don't know, found maybe a reserve of some energy somewhere in my body, and it works, and it allows me to like take my shower and start my routine.
Yeah, okay, that's very cool to hear. Definitely. Okay, and what's your plan going to be for the next week? Are you going to keep being strict with your routines? Are you going to place out more alarms? What have you been planning?
Yes, at the moment I will stay like that, and my first goal, in fact, in the first week, like for the first 6-7 days, my brother came each time to see if I was waking up or not. He stopped it because, well, he has school and he has to get up, and I didn't want to interfere with that. So when I will feel it's becoming really hard, I will ask him to do that again, and come to see if I'm awake or not. Even though, in my opinion, is not necessary, because with so much alarm clocks, I can't go back to sleep. If I'm like in zombie mode, I will stay like for 20 minutes with alarm clocks ringing everywhere in my room, and I will freak out and wake up finally. So it's in my opinion, oversleeping a call or a nap is not possible if I don't allow me to do so, because of all those equipments like infrastructure that I set up not to oversleep. So yeah, I still have some weaknesses sometime when I wake up, like I don't want to wake up, and I'm saying to myself, well, why am I doing that? And as I'm in zombie mode, I can't think about anything, so I don't find back the reasons why I'm doing that. So I'm like, shit, I'm going to go back to bed. And then I'm thinking a little, and then I say, oh no, you are doing this for those reasons, and you mustn't go back to bed. And so I start my journey, and everything's okay. So it's really, at the moment, it's pure mentality and psychology. So yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you're sort of struggling on a mental aspect at the moment, but you're able to overcome it by just telling yourself the reasons why you're doing polyphasic sleep. Oh, that's very cool. Okay. Do you have any tips for people who are maybe on the second stage of their adaptation to a harder schedule? Do you have some special tips you want to share with them?
Yeah, because for the first week, sorry, it's really convenient. It's quite easy. There's no real difficulties unless you need to get up on time. You need to go to sleep on time. Even though you skip a nap, it's okay. You can still continue without too much pain. But as soon as you enter in stage 2, like it's really a big hit in the mentality. So I think from there is certainly the reason why so much people fails adaptation. It's because it's getting so difficult, like in your mentality, to continue and find the reasons why you do that, and telling yourself that afterwards, in a few weeks, it will be better, and the third week will be even harder. So I'd say that's really the biggest point to point out, is really to like write somewhere why you do polyphasic sleep, and also keep in mind that it will be okay afterwards, even if it's a long time. So this would be really my biggest tip at the moment, because it's really this point with that I struggle at the moment.
Okay, and as you're adapting to a harder schedule right now, would you say that it's helping you to know what it feels like to have been adapted to the Everyman 1 schedule previously? Like you have a clear goal to strive for?
Yeah, of course. My goal is, first of all, to be energetic and productive after each wake, and each gaps awake must be awake and productive. And I really want also to have a perfect sleep quality where I feel like sleeping a lot. And I have something that I never had on polyphasic sleep, is to have consistent REM naps. And this is really my dream. Like, I want to wake up and see every naps like filled with green, and oh, this would be really fucking crazy, really.
Okay, well, let's hope that your adaptation goes smoothly and you achieve your goal soon.
Yeah. Maybe I will buy an REM nap on polyphasic, and maybe I will have an REM nap.
Yeah, definitely. I can clearly see a correlation there. Okay, well, great. I'll be seeing you next week, and thank you for chatting with us again.
No problem.
Yep, bye-bye.